Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today marks the beginning of our maintenance program over the winter for our car. As you can see, it's on the elevator there. The guys have started and I'll show you what they're working on. Basically, it's going to be a multiple episode series, I guess, where we take the engine out of the car. That's what they're working on right now. And like I mentioned, we have a gearbox to install. We got to open the engine up as little as we can to inspect bearings. We'll have to switch the oil pump and we'll do some minor upgrades to the car, like the firewall. We need to adjust a bit to have more room in there. There are a bunch of things that will make our life simpler and that will prevent any problems happening with the car over the next season. So yeah, it's going to be a few episodes long, and join us together in this I hope not too eventful program, because any events probably means we find problems with the car. Working on, as you can see, they've already taken the front off, so no bumper. The whole area with the intercooler and piping and everything, they're off. They actually did it until I got here at the shop. The fluids are out, so no oil in the car, no coolant in the car. And what are you guys working on?
A lot. I made quite a big list. There are a lot of things to take apart before removing the engine itself. Now we're at the stage where we have to remove the alternator, and then we have to drop the power steering rack, and then I know a lot of stuff has to happen before we pull the engine out. Hopefully tonight we can get the engine out, but there's a long way till we get there. We also have to pull all of the wire management. Which is quite a job itself, but we start from the bottom and go.
We'll just take it apart like a Lego. This is the easy part. The annoying part is going to be when we have to put everything back together, but we'll see when we get there. So let's get to work. So we're getting closer to taking the engine out, but I wanted to show you one thing, and one thing that we want to fix over this winter. The reason you see us taking everything off so difficult, and you'll see in a minute how difficult it is for us to get the engine out, is because we have to get both the engine and the gearbox out, and it's very difficult because the engine is big. And the reason we have to do this is there is no way for us to take the gearbox out because of the lack of room we have here off of the engine. And this is a problem over the winter when we do this, but this could also be a problem at the track. Let's say you have a gearbox issue or clutch issue and you have to change the clutch, which we're lucky it hasn't happened to us so far, but everybody goes through this, so sooner or later we will have a clutch issue and we'll have to change the clutch. In our current setup, there is no way for us to do this. If the clutch fails in our car, we pack and go home. There is no way for us to fix this as a track.
Just pack your shit in the fucking trailer!
So this is hopefully the last time we have to do this so difficult. We will take, in a minute you'll see the engine and the gearbox out, but what we'll do over the winter is we want to cut the firewall as much as we can to make room for the gearbox to come out of the back. So in a normal situation this would be much easier. What we've done so far, we're taking the steering column out, we've taken as much as the lines we could. There's still the wiring harness which has to go out and a few more things. Now that we're done under the engine, we're gonna pull the car down, take the wires out and everything else we have to do, and then we'll start finally putting this engine out. So
later, we are finally ready to take out the engine. We finished taking out the drive shaft, unplugging everything that needed to be unplugged. And now comes the tricky part. We have to first bring the engine crane over the engine, lift the engine a tiny bit, then using a jack we have to lower the subframe and then disconnect the gearbox from the chassis and then gently pull the engine out. It's a three-man job. That's why Andrei was telling you that we should find a solution to make this process simpler, because the car needs to be easily serviceable at the tracks. We learn as we go. Every year we try to make improvements over the car, but yeah, it is what it is. Now comes the fun part, so let's do that and see you in a bit with the engine out, and then we can talk about the changes that we want to make on the chassis part of the car, address the issue that Andrei was talking about earlier. So let's get to it. She's out! Rapaz!
Engine out, victory accomplished. I don't know.
So I said I'll give you a short overview of what our intentions are regarding the transmission tunnel. All E46s have this reinforcement over the transmission tunnel, and this is the part that because the engine is so far back and the trans is also so far back in the engine tunnel, there's no room for us to take the transmission out with the engine in the car. So we have to remove this part in order to give us more access on the top of the transmission to reach the bolts, and also to give enough space for the transmission to unbolt from the engine. So mainly that's the plan, to remove this reinforcement on the tunnel. I think that's about it on engine bay side.
Alright, so after a long evening, I think it's time to wrap. You can see the engine is out with gearbox at the same time. You saw how difficult that was. That's why Pariser showed you what he showed you, and we have to address that over the winter. We can't be doing this at a track when we have to change a stupid clutch plate. We're back at the shop and we're taking the next steps to put this sequential gearbox on our engine. In case you forgot, during the last episode we took this bad boy out of the car, which means our engine and our gearbox. We're going to start by putting the engine on the stand and taking the old gearbox out. There's a couple of reasons to do this. One, because we have to take it out for the new gearbox to come in. And second, last season we had some problems with our clutch. We want to inspect it and see if it's any good anymore. We made a mistake when we ordered the adapter kit and the clutch for this car. I had no idea that there are three types of clutches. Maybe you can tell me there are more, but for drifting at least, there's organic clutch, Kevlar clutch, and sinter clutch. And in this order of strength. For drifting you want sinter, even though it's tough to drive, but it's indestructible. Unfortunately, what we did was order an organic clutch, which is for street use, and that's the reason the car always felt so good to drive. But it started smelling during our last two events. But we won't be taking this risk during the next season, so we will definitely be upgrading to a sinter clutch. But first we have to take everything out and see what's in there, and if anything needs repairing or whatever. I wanted to show you something interesting that Pariser did. It was his idea. So if you see, the engine is out, but the wires are still on the engine. You typically see this when people use mil-spec bulkhead connectors, but those are quite expensive. We were way over budget when we built this engine, and we wanted to avoid this. So Pariser actually thought of the whole engine harness very well, and he made it so that it's only two plugs that you need to take out of your ECU and PDM, which are these. Well, they're more than I said, but basically it's only a single place where you need to take these out. This whole thing comes through the firewall, and the nice thing is you can take the whole engine out with the harness on it without having to take any plugs from sensors or stuff like this. It's almost mil-spec, but you have to take 20 centimeters of wire through the firewall extra. But that made the work a lot easier, and props to him for thinking this out. Let's just get to work, and we'll update you along the way.
gearbox is out. It was quite a task because the gearbox is very heavy. It's a 3-liter diesel from an E46 BMW. And now we are at the stage where we have to remove the clutch, the adapter plate and the flywheel. As you can see, it's quite a large flywheel because the adapter plate with the whole kit came as is. In order to make the N62 engine to a 3-liter diesel gearbox transmission, you need to take up the extra space. Let's get to uninstalling the clutch and see how the wear on the clutch is overall. Wow. So, at the first glance, the clutch seems to be kaput. When it was new, you could definitely see the different plates, so to speak, of the clutch. Something similar to this side. This is a twin disc clutch, so you have a middle plate. As you can see, there's a lot of clutch material that shouldn't be here. And you can also see all of the hotspots from all of the clutch kicks. So yeah, new clutch.
I'm no expert. Is this a worn clutch? I mean, I don't see any 3D.
Look at this side. It's almost flat.
I think this is okay for 1-2 seasons more.
Look at the chunks of clutch material that fall on the ground.
Oh, check this out. This is actually, look at this. This is actually worn in. It has a lip. Trifan, who is like an expert in our drift scene, when I told him I have organic clutch, I didn't even tell him. He smelled the fact that it was an organic clutch. He was like surprised it even made the dyno session or something. I mean, it seemed like this should have failed from the first session. So the fact that it held for like 1.5 seasons, I mean, I think it's a win. Clutches in drifting are basically consumables. Either way, it's good that nothing seems to be broken or badly affected. All we need to do is change those 2 clutch plates, upgrade them to center, and we should be done. Trifan, the expert, is insisting that we send these back to Poland, where they came from, to be resurfaced and analyzed and whatever. I don't want to spend the time and pay for shipping, so I think there's nothing wrong with it. Let us know in the commentary, is it a bad idea not to send these for checkup after 2 seasons? I mean, it's a piece of metal and it seems fine.
Yeah, not quite. If you
No?
No, this surface should be flat. And you can feel it with your hand. It's like a small terrain.
So you think we should send this for
Yeah,
resurfacing?
this should be resurfaced, yes.
Alright, so scratch what I said. We're sending these to Poland, so this will delay us a bit. I don't know how long it will take, but we're gonna package everything up, send them to Poland for inspection and resurfacing, and they'll probably send the package with the sinter clutches anyway, so I hope it's not gonna be expensive, and I hope it's not gonna take too long.
No more clutch kicks.
Oh, no, with sinter it's gonna be clutch kick, clutch kick, clutch kick, clutch kick, clutch kick, clutch kick.
This is clutch kick.
Okay, so now all components are out. I actually spoke to Adamat, which is the company that provided us the adapter plate and everything. I sent them some pictures and they said that, yeah, we should send everything back to them after looking. Probably it's worse than they thought. So what they expect is that, again, these 2 clutch discs will definitely be thrown away and replaced with sinter. This middle plate, they said they will probably replace entirely. So they said that even if you resurface them, then the tolerances are gonna be bad for the clutch, the plates. We can reuse the pressure plate and we can reuse the flywheel. Something I never actually realized is that you can actually replace the inner part of the flywheel. It all seemed one piece, but probably that's stupid that I assumed that. But you can actually replace the middle part if needed. And basically they will resurface this, put new clutch coats in, replace this entirely and send everything back. And we'll basically have almost a brand new clutch. I hope it won't take long, that's the biggest issue, so we won't have to wait for it, but that's the game plan. We're gonna send this week and hope for the best.
It just occurred to me that we need to make another modification to the adapter plate. These bolts to the engine like so. There's no way you can take the oil pan off the car without removing the gearbox and the adapter plate. The solution is to make some slots in order to be able to put a tool through the adapter plate to reach these 4 bolts in the rear, thus removing the oil pan. Another issues that we had, it was heating at the top here. in this part of the engine, this back water cover. And the other issue was with the starter motor. So we also had to enlarge this area in order for the starter motor to fit.
Right. So we forgot to film an outro for this episode. I want to send a massive thank you to every single one of you who during the last episode commented, gave their opinions and supported us. It means a lot to us, so thank you to every single one of you. This is a interesting moment for us. It's a lot of changes, as you can see, the language thing and everything. So we rely a lot on your support. We've been doing a lot of DIY stuff, even though I said we're gonna step away from it, but this is how winter maintenance goes. But I'd like to know what you'd like to see. Would you like to see more changes to the Pro car? Would you like to see something done to Pariser's street car? Would you like to see us having fun with something? I don't know. And please let me know what you think of that. This is the second episode he's been filming. He's been doing a lot of video editing. And let me know what you think. And I guess I'll see you next time. Getting closer and closer to putting this engine back on the car. And maybe do some test sessions and stuff like this. So thank you for your support again. See you next time.